Hello, it's been a while, so I'm back on video, as I had planned and promised a while ago following my last video. I'm now in Budapest. It's a city I've been living in on and off mostly for the last 15 years. There's a lot of history there, a lot of stories, but I decided to start up again as I'm just sort of coming to the end of a 3-month online working contract. So now I've just got a bit more time to myself. I'm out on at a local sporting venue, which is really quite cool actually. It's developed a lot over the years. In the second district in Budapest, which is the more residential area, sort of more upmarket, lots of villas and nice houses, and the sort of, you can see the view behind me. It's sort of, we're up on a hill. And see that we're sort of well situated here, and there's a sporting, there's an outdoor gym, and you can see the fields behind me. So yeah, Budapest is there's quite a story behind it, and the reason I wanted to sort of make this video was to sort of give you some background, because whilst I've shared a lot of my sort of stories in general, this place has been central to my life for quite some time. It's the place that I ran to when I got a little bit fed up of myself and my circumstances, and possibly my approach to life in general. It was also the start of the start of the kind of economic recession we've all kind of become used to now. Back in the late 90s, it was a bit of a risk. I had a good job in London, and I just got fed up and needed a new adventure, and through a number of weird and wonderful circumstances ended up here. It's one of those things in life when it all comes together very easily, and there's this kind of push-pull impact in life where things can take a long time, not happen at all, not materialize, or they just happen very quickly. And very briefly, I was working in central London, and it was a good job and everything was fine, but I really wasn't connecting with myself. I was just really existing, like in a sort of comfort zone, but a nice comfort zone. It wasn't a bad one, but I really wasn't challenging myself, and I wasn't really at peace. But I needed a new adventure, and part of my nature has been to move a lot. So it became a natural thing to move on from that place I was at. Originally, I was going to go and work in South Africa, and this was during the apartheid period, which was very problematic at the time. And the job offer I did actually eventually get, even the company themselves, who really were quite keen to have me there, said we wouldn't rush you out. You'd probably be living behind bars most of the time, which really didn't sound too appealing. And who wants to live behind bars? So one thing led to another, and very simply, I was in London, and a friend of mine said, have you seen the Evening Standard, which really is just a London-based newspaper and only really focuses and concentrates on London? And I had been toying with the idea of going somewhere, having a new change, having a change of scenery. And Budapest came up. Now, it wasn't somewhere I'd even thought about before, but I'd been reading some trade magazines. I was involved in publishing at the time, media, and one of the trade magazines did some form of focus on Budapest and the emerging Central European markets. And it sounded kind of interesting. I read into it, and one of the articles was written, or was focusing on some of the local people from the UK who were actually based over there. And I happened to know a couple of them. And I'd made contact with them, and they suggested that I just booked a flight and came out and met them and had a look around. And I thought it was a good idea at the time. Within about a week of that, as I said, my friend contacted me, and she said to me, have you seen, the Evening Standard, this evening's Evening Standard? And I said, no. She said, go and get it and pick up page such and such, 35. So I picked up the paper, went to page 35, and in the job section, it said publishing opportunity, Budapest. Now, to be perfectly frank, there aren't many bigger signs than that, because those kind of jobs just aren't advertised. So of course I responded to it, made an appointment. They were very excited to meet me, and the rest, as they say, is history. I literally went there, met up with a couple of the guys, met the company, who happened to be connected to the Evening Standard, and that's why the job ad ran in that paper. But it happened within milliseconds. I was offered a really good job, and I'd been there ever since. So anyway, a lot of stories which I'll go into at another stage, but the point really is that happened just almost as if it was meant to be. And I had a really good run here. I mean, a really good run. And the second, and probably the most important thing, this is where my daughter Olivia was born. So, of course, it is central to my storyline. And after 2 years, well, let's put it in another perspective. After 5 years being in China, coming backwards and forwards to Budapest and to the UK, the lockdown happened, and you're all very aware, because you all lived through it, what that meant. So I've only now just been able to come back again to catch up with my daughter and my dog Patch, who is busily eating lots and lots of grass. Maybe he's a vegan, I don't know, but he seems to like grass. Patch, say hello. Yes, hello. That was a grunt, which means hello. And so here we are, having a little walk across this sort of patch of the second district. So anyway, this is really just the introductory video to share with you that I'm sort of getting slowly but surely back on track with my program and my vids. And I'm going to sort of set up this as a series. Let's call it the Budapest Chronicles, and this is number 1, so welcome. And I'd love to hear from you. And if you've got any questions or interest in Budapest or some of the stories, I would be more than delighted to share some with you. But I will be gradually unraveling them as we go through the coming weeks. So have a lovely rest of the evening or day, or whatever time it is you're at, and I will continue walking my dog, who seems to be very, very interested in the weeds and everything else. And I'll untangle him from this and continue my walk around this area. So I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.